Hi guys, my name is Lindos Kosana. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today we are going to talk about people pleasing. Yes, I would like to chat about this once again, and this is a part 2 of people pleasing. More so, I have been noticing certain aspects in me that embody people pleasing, and for the month of June, because I'm recording this on the 1st of June 2025, I just want to dig deep with this topic, more so because I am a recovering people pleaser. So for those of you that don't know what people pleasing is, I'm just going to give you a brief definition of what it actually means. So people pleasing is doing things for other people at your own expense. This is usually situations where you're seeking validation or you're seeking approval. That's why you are doing those things. We people please because we want to feel validated. We people please because we want to get approval from men. We people please because we think people will like us or will love us more when we do those things for them. And in actual fact, people pleasing is performing for humans. People pleasing is performing for humans. An example that I would give on my end was in university. I remember I wanted to be part of a group of people because they were cool. They were seen as cool kids back then, and I wanted to be a part of them. And what I used to do then, I used to do things for them so that they can see me. I used to do things for them so that they can validate me. I used to do things for the group so that I can feel like I belong. And I'm not saying they forced me to do those things. No, they did not force me to do those things. In fact, I don't think they even know that I was people pleasing. They perhaps thought I could do it, but I couldn't. I was doing things for them to see me, to approve me, and things like I'll literally buy a group of people food because I thought perhaps they would like me more. But child, I was wrong. So yeah, that's an example for me on my end on what people pleasing is, so that you can perhaps get an idea of what we are talking about. Usually people that people please, or we people pleasers, if you're also a people pleaser, we usually do these things because we don't feel like we belong to a certain group of people. We don't feel like we are loved internally. We don't feel like we are valued. Therefore, we do things, we perform for people in order for them to actually like us. We perform for people in order for them to see us. And in most of the times, one of the signs of people pleasing would be when you are constantly saying yes to things when you know you would have said no. You know deep down that in this situation, I could have said no, but because I want to be validated by this person, or because I want to be seen by this person, you end up saying yes to that person. At the long run, you actually end up resenting that person because you're like, oh, I actually don't like this person internally, because you know you're constantly seeking their approval. Also, another aspect of people pleasing is overextending yourself. You find yourself in situations where you know for sure that you can't go to that event, but you end up going so that people can see you, so that people can approve you. Or you know for sure that you don't want to go to the lunch. You know that you don't have the money for the lunch, but you end up going to the lunch because you want to be a part of a certain group, or you want to be seen as this type of person. So those are areas where you're like, actually I am people pleasing here. It's more of trying to meet someone else's needs than your own. You prioritize someone else's needs than your own needs. I see this a lot with me. I'll be in situations where I'm constantly prioritizing other people, but but not myself. And the reason why I would do that in certain cases is because I don't like confrontation. I don't like conflict. I don't like situations where I have to have uncomfortable conversations rather with people. Therefore, I would rather do what makes them happy so that I'm not in a position of having to explain why I'm saying no. So that is a bad thing. That is a bad thing. People pleasing is a psychological problem. Yes, I was watching a podcast and they were speaking about it. It is a psychological problem. It's a psychological problem where we are imposing, it's like self-imposed pressure to please others. You're literally doing this to yourself so that someone else can see you, so that someone else can validate you. And again, the reason for that is not feeling loved, not feeling seen, and not feeling like you actually matter. Like I said, I am a recovering people pleaser, and I just hope that this video could also like nudge you if you are, because sometimes people pleasers are in denial. A person would say, I'm actually not a people pleaser, but in actual fact, they are one. So here are some questions for you to answer. If you want, you can just comment down below and we can engage on how you have answered your questions. And for me, I will say I answered everything as a yes, and I'll tell you what it means if you have answered as a yes. The first one says, do you struggle saying no and setting boundaries? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I am recovering from it. There are certain situations where I do say no when I strongly want to say no, but in some cases where I flag that I've got people-pleasing tendencies, I'll say yes to a thing that I know I would have said no, or where I know that my soul did not want to do that thing. And again, I struggle with setting boundaries. Sometimes I'll set the boundaries, but then I'll still feel bad because I'm like, oh, I don't really have to do that. But yeah, so I do struggle saying no, and I do struggle with communicating rather, because I have my boundaries. I do struggle with communicating my boundaries. The second question says, do you struggle with self-confidence? Yes, I do. I may not portray it, you guys may not see it, but I do struggle with self-confidence. Therefore, usually people who are people pleasers, they do struggle with self-confidence. And again, if this video is not for you, you can just leave as people pleasers who are recovering from people pleasing, because this is a pandemic. This is a bad thing. So yes, I do struggle with this. So if you also struggle with confidence, you can just comment down below and tell us how you struggle with confidence. With me, I struggle with confidence in a sense of, do I belong in a group of people, or in certain conversations? I'll ask myself if I indeed belong. So I struggle with that. I'm working on it. The third one says, do you struggle in situations where you feel like you're not good enough? Of course, I do struggle in certain situations where I feel like, okay, perhaps I'm not good enough, or perhaps I am not deserving of this blessing. Usually this would be imposter syndrome. I'm recovering from that as well. Guys, what I've noticed about life is that you don't fully recover. You don't fully recover. Life is a journey of realizing certain aspects of yourself and then gradually working to fix them, because we will not reach a point where we are fully formed and we are fully fixed. So yes, I do struggle with that. The next one says, do you agree with people to not rock the boat? Oof, do I agree with people to not rock the boat? Yes, and I hate saying that. I remember having a conversation with someone, and someone said they don't like certain behavior, and I actually said I don't too, just because I wanted to keep the conversation going. I actually betrayed myself in that conversation so that another person can see me, so that another person can recognize me. And that is also an aspect of people pleasing, because I could have said, no, I don't like that behavior. And another thing that I actually posted a video about it on TikTok as well as on Instagram, and I said, People who do not accept your no when you say no to them, they were benefiting from you people pleasing. And people who respect your no and still love you after you say your no, those are your people. Those are the people that you need to keep close because they are not using you. So yes, I do agree in certain situations. Just because I don't want conflict or because I don't want to rock the boat with that particular person. The first one said, do you worry about what people think about you? Yes. And I am yet to meet someone that just does not worry. I do worry. I worry about my reputation. I worry about how people perceive me. But lately, I have reached a point where I'm just like, okay, I can't change how you think about me. I can only change what I think about myself. I remember I was actually watching a sermon the other day, and the pastor said, the devil does not care about anything but your mind. If the devil can get in your mind, then they can destroy your whole entire life. So the moment you give the devil a ride, he will control you and he will run your life. So yes, I do get worried about how people think about me, but I'm gradually starting to be confident and I'm gradually starting to think, listen, I can't change how you think about me. I can't really change about you. If you think I'm a bad person, I can't change that. If I did something wrong to you, of course I will apologize. Of course I will be accountable for my actions, but what you think about me, I can't change it. So I'm also working on it, but yes, I do worry about what people think about me. And then if you have answered yes, which I also did, answered yes, you are a people pleaser. You have people pleasing tendencies, and those tendencies will sometimes turn themselves into habits, and habits turn into addiction. So people pleasing is an addiction. It is a very, very bad addiction. And sometimes we try to justify it by saying, oh no, but I'm a kind person. Oh no, but God says we must give. Oh no, I'm helping this person. But in actual fact, you're depleting yourself. You are pouring into someone's cup and you are emptying yourself, and that's not how we should give. You should not give from an empty cup. You should give from your overflow, because when you give from your empty cup, you end up resenting people, and that's not good. That is not good. And again, people pleasing is a form of manipulation. We are actually manipulating people into liking us, or we are manipulating them into loving us because we want to feel loved, because we are doing things for them to love us. That is pure manipulation, and that is not right. So these are the following steps that I am implementing in my life to recover from this people-pleasing habit, or addiction rather. And because if I don't stop, the first thing that will happen to me is I will lose my voice. If I don't stop people pleasing, if I don't stop doing things to be liked or doing things to be validated by people, I'll lose my voice. I'll say yes all the time when I actually want to say no. I'll wear different faces. Imagine today I'm this person and tomorrow I'm that person, because I'm with a particular person that I'm seeking approval from. So it's not good to not be your authentic self, because we are brought into this world to be our true self. But if we are constantly people pleasing, then we are not who God called us to be, and we actually forget who we're truly supposed to be. We forget who we truly are, because you are constantly being someone that you're not, and you're constantly doing things that you wouldn't do on a normal basis. So these are the things that I am implementing in my life, just to gradually improve or recover from people pleasing. Like I said, it's an aspect that will forever be there, but we can learn how to control it. We can learn how to live with it. We can learn how to manage it. So there is hope. So if you're a people pleaser, there is hope. You are not like that. You can still fix it. So the first thing that one needs to do is to be self-aware, self-introspect. Get to know you, get to understand who you are. Be still and understand your identity and who God wants you to be. Because if you don't understand your own identity, it's then hard to not people please, because you're gonna end up trying to find your own identity in people. The second thing is wound healing. So you need to heal yourself. You will not be fully formed healed. Every person is an individual that has experienced trauma at some point in their lives. So you need to go back to your younger self, mostly childhood. When you are a child, what happened to you? What happened to you? With me, I have some neglectment issues. Not to say neglectment in a sense of my parents were horrible people. No, I was raised well, but neglectment from my biological dad's side, I felt like I had to perform in order to be loved. So that is my wound. I felt like I had to do things for people in order for people to like me. And again, growing up with my cousin brothers and my cousin sisters, I was constantly the one that would get the least, meaning in a situation where someone would get like a nice thing and I wouldn't get the nice thing. If someone would get the lollipop, I wouldn't get the lollipop. I'll only get the lollipop if someone does not want the lollipop. So I do have those neglectment issues. That's why I feel like I have to perform. I have to do certain things in order for people to love me, or in order for people to see me. So I have to accept that, and I have to make sure that I move forward from that. So the second step is healing my wounds. I am aware of my wounds and I am healing my younger self. I'm constantly giving the younger me a hug to say, listen, it's okay. And not being angry at the people, because they also did not know any better. And then the third thing is self-love. Yes, I know self-love. Certain people think of your facial or cucumbers or a spa day. No, self-love is within. Loving who you are, it comes from within. If you do not love yourself, if you do not love your true being, then you're gonna end up going outside to seek it. So the moment you love who you are, you're not gonna seek love into things. You're not gonna seek love from people. You're not gonna, yes, we need love from people, but when you love yourself, someone else's love is additional. When you love yourself, someone else's love is an extra. So it's very important to love yourself, to see yourself, and to stop hating yourself. Oof. That one, it hit a nerve for me. And to stop hating yourself, stop hating myself, for me meant that I had to stop people pleasing. I have to stop people pleasing, because the more I people please is the more I show someone else that I actually hate myself. So it's a work in progress. And when you stop people pleasing, you are free. You live in freedom. You live in an environment where you actually don't care what people think about you. Of course, you don't go around stepping on people's toes, but you actually don't care what people say about you. If someone compliments you, it becomes an extra. It's not something that you live by. You don't live by people's compliments. You don't live by the fact that this person likes you, or you don't live by people's approval. If someone approves you, great. It does not make you feel great about yourself. If they like you, great. If they don't like you, and that's okay. So another thing, which is my parting, is your authenticity matters. Your authentic you is what God has called us to do. So I constantly have to remind myself of this. I am much more valuable to the world when I am my authentic self. I am much more an asset to the world when I am my authentic self. I am much more valuable to my family, to my friends, to the people that I work around with when I am my authentic self. Because if I'm not my authentic self, then I'm performing. And we all know where performance leads. Performance is people pleasing. It leads to people pleasing. So we are here to build our future. We are here to be who God has called us to be. And we are here to be our true selves. Picture life as a puzzle. I am the missing puzzle. So if I am not my true authentic self in the world, then there's certain people that will not experience me. There's certain people that will not experience what God has trusted me with, or certain people won't even find their dreams, or certain people won't even start their dreams. So I have to do what makes me happy and what I am called for, because I know that will help someone else. So as you. So yes, you might not stop people pleasing now. Yes, you might people please after watching this video. I might people please after watching this video, but we need to be self-aware. We need to heal our wounds, and we need to stop hating on ourselves. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. Today's one was pretty straightforward. I cannot wait to see you again. I cannot wait for another episode. Again, we're still on people pleasing. I'll tell you if we're switching it up a little bit, because this is close to me. I want to recover from this addiction, because it is a bad addiction. So as you do people please remember to catch yourself. Please remember who you are, and remember that your authenticity is important in the world. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you. Mwah. Bye.